Hello! Today in the lesson we will continue dividing fractional numbers. In the previous lesson we analyzed the algorithm of division of fractional numbers and it was 3 steps. The first step is to leave the first fraction in the same form, then change the sign of the second fraction and then the third fraction. We need to flip the second fraction, and this algorithm we are going to practice with you. The first task we need to do is 3 whole, 1/5 need to divide by 2 whole, 2/15. So what do we need to do? The thing is, we haven't really worked out how to divide mixed numbers. But if we've talked about the fact that when we divide and multiply of fractional numbers, we always have to convert to improper fractions. And that's for mixed numbers. So here I'm going to convert to improper fractions. That is 3 whole 1/5 and 2 whole 2/15 I will convert to an improper fraction. What is the result? 3.15 is 16/5 divided by 32/15. And this is where I apply the rule of division of fractional numbers. The first number, the first fraction, I leave it, I move it, I leave it. So it will be 16/5. The division sign, I move it, I change it to multiplication. This fraction, I don't change it to 32/15, but to 15. 32nd. So, I need to multiply 2 fractional numbers. In order to multiply 2 fractional numbers, we first reduce. I have 16 and 32 divided by 16. 16 divided by 16 is 1. 32 divided by 16 is 2. 15. 5 and 15 is also reduced by 5, so that makes 1. And here it is 3. We only have to multiply 1 times 3, that will be 3, and 1 times 2, that's 2. The answer is 3 times 2, but we agreed that we have to convert a mixed number or reduce it. 3 2's an irreducible fraction, so I write down 1 whole 1 2, and that will be our answer. So, there's nothing complicated here. The most important thing is to remember 3 steps. It is to leave the first fraction as it is, change the sign of division to multiplication. That's the second step. And the third step is to reverse it. By the way, in the next lessons we'll be talking about what kind of action it is when we flip this fraction. But for now, you and I are dividing fractional numbers. Second assignment. I'm going to divide 2 whole numbers by 1 whole 4/5. Just like multiplication. I need to divide a fractional number by a fractional number, but I don't have a fractional number, so 2 is not a fractional number, so I need to write it down as a fractional number. So what do? I write the first 2. So I write 2 as 2 first, then I divide it by 1 whole 4/5. And that's a mixed number. I have to convert it. 1 times 5 is 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 5/5. And now I'm going to apply the rule of division. First I wrote it down as fractional numbers, and now the rule of division. I leave the first one the same way. So I write the first 2. I change the sign. The second step, I change the sign. This fraction I flip, 5/9. And now all I have to do is count, multiply the 2 fractions. The first 2 multiplied by 5/9. There's no reduction here. Then I multiply 2 times 5. 2 times 5 and 1 times 9. So 2 times 5 is 10/9. 10/9 is wrong, so I have to take the whole part. 10 divided by 9, that's 1 whole, and there's 1 left over. I write it in the numerator and leave the denominator the same. By the way, now we will consider a similar example, only rearranged. What will happen in this case? I want to divide 1.4/5 divided by 2. The algorithm of actions is the same, but let's pay attention to the fact that the answers are naturally different, because here we divide 1 whole 4/5 by 2. So convert to an improper fraction. That would be 9/5 divided by 2, the first 2. And now for the rule. We leave the first one as it is, 9/5. I change the sign of the division, multiply. And this fraction I flip, so I get 1/2. And then I have to multiply 9/5 by 1/2. What's the result? 9/10. This is an irreducible fraction. We can't isolate the whole part, so the answer is 9/10. So applying one rule, you can always divide fractional numbers into each other. In the next lesson, we will study the concept of reciprocal numbers. That's all for today. Goodbye. See you again.